Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Round 7. How you doing? We're looking at defenses, and Blerdwords is in chat right now. So they're going to try and defend their actions, I bet. I might stop and read chat a little bit. If you want to come join us to do these live and see what happens in between takes and stuff, because we do stop and talk about these teams in between, then by all means, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to noon on the West Coast, just find me at Twitch. It's easy. Links are in the description. Hit that like button while you're down there. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I was in a bad mood, but chat's got me cheered up, even though they're pointing out how wrong I am about things. All right, team number 1 is this Hydra 1.0. It's nothing to get too excited about because it's super underbuilt, but at the same time, you can't just take in like one 66K tune in here. You're probably going to have to use 100K worth of something to go into this, even though it's like, you know, pretty pathetic. I do like this as a starter defense for newer players. They're easy to get to. You don't have to invest much into them for it to be something, right? Your opponent is going to have to put more investment into the counter than you did into this defense, and those are the kind of defenses that you get value out of, so it's pretty good. If you wanted to go higher, you know, like a 6664 gear tier 12 across the board or something like that, it would be a very stubborn defense if you think you can spare it. But this day and age, you know, nobody really likes to invest in war. I like the ISOs, the placement, the characters used. I kind of like Grenadier in here better. He has some other stuff he can be used for elsewhere, so I like throwing Grenadier in here and building him up in place of somebody like Scientist or even Trooper, although I like Trooper on this team too, so I think Scientist should be the one you replace with Grenadier would be the best way to go. But you haven't really wasted anything other than maybe this one ISO on Healer is like over investment unless you're going to go war ready. So I don't know. I'll go A-. It's not bad. I'm curious to see where you take it in the future. If you use Grenadier on this team, or if you decide to build it or just leave it, it's up to you. Moving on to team number 2 is the Wakandans. Oh my God, let's all lose our mind. It's the Wakandans on defense. Oh my God, they're back, ladies and gentlemen, with a vengeance. And this is where you should be using Wakandans right now because they are basically a new team, right? They work a little differently than they used to. We're finding that they're good in war offense, in war defense. They're supposed to be good in Crucible, but we won't know until Wednesday. I don't know when this video is posting. What I would like to definitely see is Striker on M'Baku, 100% Striker on M'Baku. I like Striker on Black Panther. I don't know if he could be a Raider also. I think that's kind of either way. We're going to have to look and see. I like Raider over here, but with the Skirmisher Striker combo, we could be changing him to a Striker and then using him on either Mercs or Wakandans, right? Getting some double value out of that ISO choice. So I think for now, when it comes to Raiders and Strikers, I'm going to go either way on this team and not dock anybody for it. I do kind of like Killmonger as a Raider on this team. I like Black Panther as a Striker, and I'm certain that I like Striker on M'Baku on this team also. Gotta have Okoye as a Skirmisher because she's assisting creating those triple hit combos, and then Shuri can be just about anything you want her to be. There's a place and an excuse for almost every ISO, even Fortifier, Healer, those ISOs that really suck. You could make her a Striker if you wanted to triple tap off of Okoye. Not much damage there though, you know, even though she got a damage boost, she's still not doing much damage. I personally like Healer on this team, and I like Skirmisher on this team, and I like Fortifier for raids, although now with her health boost, I don't think we need to do the Fortifier. So let's say Healer and Skirmisher is probably what I like best. A Thame does not like Crit Shuri. Yeah, I'm thinking Healer or Skirmisher is probably the way to go for that. As for placement, let's see. I would like to see Shuri and Okoye change places. There's something with adjacent going on with Okoye, and I can't remember what at this time, but I think it's going to go M'Baku, Okoye, then Black Panther, Killmonger, and then Shuri is, I think, how I want it. I'm not certain on that placement. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A- because the only thing that I am certain is wrong on this is the Healer on M'Baku, and that is probably from a previous build. So looking pretty good. Like to see you change that M'Baku to a Striker. Moving on to team number 3. Wave 1 Avengers with Coulson in place of Thor. When you use Thor on the full Asgardian team or someplace else, you replace Coulson because he gives a bonus to shield, which is these 3 members. So everybody but Hulk is getting a boost to, I think it's their health. Works really well. I would like to see you change places with Hulk and Coulson. So you have your 2 tank healers on this side, Black Widow going invisible in the middle. You've got Hawkeye as a Raider. I personally prefer a Striker Skirmisher combo when you have both of them on here, but he has Raider built into his kit, so I'm not going to dock you for that. She has callouts as a Skirmisher on both of her teams, so I'm not going to dock you for that. She's also proven to be pretty useful in a lot of niche cases elsewhere. Coulson is a striker for the turn meter rewind on his basic. That's great. So you have 2 people putting up vulnerables, one person going into them. It's a great team. Just a placement change. I can give you an A for that, but for as is, I'm going to go A- on that one. Team number 4 is the Guardians of the Garbage Can. I'm not a big fan, even after their rework. I don't think they did enough. They should have given them Rocket and Star-Lord twice the boosts that they gave them. I just don't feel it there. Skirmisher, Raider, Healer, and Raider. This is their traditional one. If you take these 2 off of the team, you can go Striker, Skirmisher. I still like Groot as a Skirmisher no matter what. But whatever, is what it is. You kind of went, you went 3. Either go war ready or 1 ISO. That's kind of how you want to do it. And honestly, this team is not worth going war ready. So I think you kind of wasted some ISO material there. I don't know. Maybe you're flush with it at this point. Some people are. I like the placement. I like the ISO choices technically. I personally prefer a 3-piece Guardians with something else like Minerva and I don't know. Anybody other than a Guardians of the Galaxy character, but whatever, this works. I'm gonna go B+ just because I don't like the ISO wastage on this. It's the right ISOs. I just think it's not worth investing in. And you went 3, so they're not war ready. You could probably boost this number up a lot bigger if you went war ready on it, and then I wouldn't be quite so upset. But 3, man, that's right in the middle. All right, team number 5 is the full Asgardians, which is symbiote food. We were talking about symbiote food in between video recordings with a Doc Ock team with Doom and what was it, Scientist Supreme and some other people, Minerva and stuff, and chat was telling me it was symbiote food. If you were to put in several teams like this that soak up the speed meta teams, maybe you could get by with stuff like that, but usually it requires your entire alliance to be putting out teams like this so that your opponents just don't have the resources available to go into these with effective counters. Also, there's something to be said at low-end wars where you don't see a lot of symbiotes because it's an older team and people are bypassing the symbiotes to build the web warriors instead. If the web warriors would ever become farmable, that's a whole different discussion. Let's take a look at this team, though. You got the 5-piece. You have him as a healer. That's no good. He needs to be a skirmisher, level 5 preferably. If you build him up or leave him like level 5, you can use him either way in arena for his time management. If you're going to build him up, though, make him a level 5 skirmisher for the focus boost, because then sometimes you land a defense down. It can really help you in those arena matches. I don't like him as a healer. Though he's fast, his health bar is pretty small, and he's not throwing it, and his 20% of his health bar is pretty negligible. So don't do healer, do skirmisher. Then striker over here, I want him to be a raider. Fortifier on Sif is unnecessary. She should also be a raider. I mean, I guess you got some wonky power levels going on, but really it's not doing anything. Also with the 5-piece, he's throwing out a taunt, and with that skirmisher, it puts up a vulnerable that she goes into the taunt and double taps with her opening maneuver, and you could make her a striker for this team. But I don't know, I like her better as a raider for off this team, so I wouldn't change that if I were you, but still change him to a skirmisher. Thor needs to be a raider, and these 2 need to be raiders, so I don't like those ISO choices. Again, your 3... it needs to be 1 or war ready, so I don't like that. I'm gonna go B-. I don't like this team. I'm not excited about the placement. You know what? This is a C for sure. This really is. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, and it's kind of gone wrong. I think you should just be using Thor on the Wave 1 Avengers. I think you throw these guys in the dumpster. Use him on your hybrid arena teams, and you use her with like a Dark Hunters offense team into whatever they're using her for these days. So yeah, I'm gonna go C on this. I really just don't like this team at all. Team number 6 is the Emmarauders. You've got Magneto in here instead of Madeline Pryor, and that's fine. It's somebody to put in here. He has great synergy with the members of this team. We're now putting Healer and or Skirmisher on Strife instead of Fortifier. If you caught the last video, whoopsie kind of thing. We're not doing Fortifier anymore. Okay, Healer, that's great. Skirmisher, that's great. And Raider, okay. You don't have any strikers, but that doesn't really matter. Madeline Pryor will be a striker on this team, and then you may consider changing Emma to a skirmisher if you want to. Otherwise, yeah. In fact, on this build, if you wanted to save some resources, you could swap out Mystique for Madeline Pryor, just because you have twice the investment in Magneto. But at the same time, I think Mystique is actually a pretty decent character now since the rework. This team isn't anything exciting. It's kind of a whale flex team. I don't think people should really heavily invest in it. I don't think people should be spending money on Madeline Pryor. I'm sad that I did. She's just not the flexible character I was hoping she would be. She's not used anywhere else but this team, and all it does is limit the amount of counters that come into this. It's not that amazing. I'm not excited by it. But you're not really wasting anything here. Your placement is okay. Let's swap Emma and Magneto for the time being. Yeah, I wouldn't swap Mystique. I'd swap Emma and Magneto because Emma's going to be able to take the splash damage off of Strife. You need to invest more into Strife to make him hold. This team does need some work to be useful and get you defensive victories. Your Strife is too weak. It's going to get rolled over pretty easy, and without Madeline Pryor, they can do it with a lot of different stuff. So for me, this is a B. You're headed in the right direction, but it's going to take some more investment to really get this thing up and running. Team number 7 is the Black Order. Let's see. Raider Striker, that's weird. This should definitely be Skirmisher Striker for the combos. It works much better, clearing positive effects with those Skirmisher ISOs. Striker over here is fine. He could probably be taken up if you want to. The team's pretty old though. I don't think you really should. It's just, man, you're kind of, you know, it's a pretty big team. It's pretty decent, but I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. Raider over here is fine. Healer on this is absolutely wrong. It needs to be a skirmisher. So let's change these 2 ISOs. I'm going to give you a B for the team. Needs some work. Also, I don't like the placement. Let's swap places with Corvus Glade and Thanos, and let's swap places with, yeah, let's swap places with, what do we want to do here? Okay, let's go Cull Obsidian, Thanos, Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, I think is probably a decent placement. That way Corvus Glaive is going invisible and you're having trouble hitting 3 targets. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Team number 8 is a America Chavez Eternals. You're absolutely wasting these 2 characters by putting them on the team. They have nothing to do with this. They're pointless in here. It's all about the Eternals going really fast. You can change this by putting your Loki in here, by putting an Emma in here, making it so unbelievably fast. You could throw in other stuff in here like a Black Bolt to help ping people, or a Thanos for energy. There's all kinds of stuff. This is a waste. You could be building a 4-piece Young Avenger team and throwing like Miles in there in place of America Chavez, or Doc Ock in place of America Chavez, and the team still works really well as a very powerful defense. Then you can use America Chavez in here with these Eternals and do other things than waste these 2 characters who are totally inconsequential on this team. Okay, I'm gonna give you a B- for that. I think that's a total waste of those characters. Otherwise, Striker, Skirmisher, and Striker. Fortifier on Ms. Marvel. What are you doing with Fortifier? She's going to be a skirmisher, and then eventually Squirrel Girl's going to be a striker. You can leave her as a healer if you want, but on her team, striker all the way. Yeah, I'm going to bring this down to a C-. I'm kind of frustrated with the ISOs, who you're using. It's kind of got me out of my mind. All right, team number 9 is your Web Warriors. Raider on everybody, striker on Miles, totally acceptable. I think we need to change the placement, though. You need Miles in the middle, dividing the team. Or you could put Miles on that Young Avenger team in the middle, which really kind of puts a crimp in that Dark Hunter counter for the Young Avengers, because then Morbius can't chain all the way across because Miles is invisible. So put Miles in the middle here, or put him on the Young Avenger team. Your choice. And then you're going to want to put Scarlet to the outside and probably Ghost to the outside. You could leave these 2 where they're at. That's fine. But put Scarlet to the outside over here. All right, so I don't like that placement. Everything else there is fine. I'm going to go B+ for that. That placement is kind of detrimental. All right, and then finally, team number 10 is your Heroes for Hire. We've got Healer on Luke Cage. That's wrong. We need Fortifier on Luke Cage. You got Healer on Iron Fist. Whatever. He gets heal blocked all the time. I don't think that's a good choice. I think you should go Skirmisher or Raider on him. And then the other ISOs are great. Let's get Shang-Chi I don't know. People are telling me that Shang-Chi in the corner is fine for certain reasons. Everybody's got a difference of opinion, but the one thing that is for certain is we do not want Luke Cage in the corner. So get Luke Cage out of this position, put anybody in there, and I could give you a better grade. So let's change ISOs, change placement. You get a B+ for that. Not too shabby, but could definitely benefit from a placement change in the very least. Okay. If you like what you guys saw, please hit that like button, all the usual plugs. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.